What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. This video is going to be another one for the 300ZX NA budget build series. So on my last video I showed you guys how to lightly modify your OEM 300ZX headlights. On this video we're going to be installing them in the car. So if you're following along on that video and you want to know how to install it, this is the video to be watching. Now for those of you who haven't seen the modification of the headlights that we did, I'll put a link above so you guys can see it. Go ahead and watch that video. If you like how it looks, come back to this video and watch the install if you're trying to follow along and do it yourselves at home. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't want this video to be super long like my last one, so I'm just gonna give you guys the breakdown of what you need to be doing. Okay, obviously, so I got it installed on this side, and that's the factory one. So this is the one that we customized. Put the Ionic Dynamics bezel in there, and then some DRL strips in there. You go see all that on the last video. So the first thing you're going to be doing is unplugging your bulbs. Right? I got one here. Turn this counterclockwise. That's my low beams. And here are my high beams. Alright, so now you have your bulbs disconnected from the headlight housings. Next thing you're going to want to do is remove your bumper. You want to take the bumper off. Now the reason why you have to take your bumper off is to be able to reach the bolts that hold your headlights onto the car. There's 4 of them on the bottom along the corners of the headlight, and I'll show you where they're at. But you could possibly reach it with your bumper on. I don't think it's possible. I just thought it would be a lot easier to take your bumper off, so you can go ahead and do that. So the first bolt, you got your headlight here. Your first bolt's going to be, you can see these little pegs right here. That's kind of where the bolts are at on the underside. So you got one here. It's going to be underneath. It's going to be underneath. It's I believe it's a 12 millimeter. So you're going to need a 12 millimeter for that. There's one back here. One back here on the underside. Hands right here. It's right here. I can feel it with my hand. So you have to take your nose panel off and your bumper to reach that one. That's 2. You see the corresponding kind of groove right here. It's right underneath. Bam, that's 3. And then for the far corner one in the back, you kind of have to reach in where your wheel well would be at. Kind of reach behind, kind of guesstimate where you're going to be at, and you can feel that nut right there. Again, these are 12 millimeter bolts and nuts. Alright, so we disconnected 4 bolts, and you just go ahead and pull the headlight right off. Just be careful when you're taking it off. Alright, now that you have your old headlight off, you can put your new customized headlights that you made from the last video on. Or you could be watching this video first to learn how to take your headlights off, then watch the other video to learn how to modify them, and then back to this video to install them. I know not everyone has a spare set of headlights laying around so you can modify them, but I feel like that was the best way to do it because I wanted to keep the lights on my car so I could keep driving the car while I slowly worked on modifying the other set. It's up to you how you want to do it. Alright, so here's an old headlight, old driver's side, old passenger side, and here we have my new passenger side. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, put it back in just how you saw me how to remove the stock one, and then we'll do the wiring. Alright, now that you have your headlight secured, your new headlight secured to the car, we need to install the pigtail, which means installing the driver. So this is the special driver I got from Profile Performance. This is for their DRL strip. This needs to be installed, and I'll show you how you wire all these wires right here. Now for the wiring, you got to be able to connect your driver. Now this part of the driver right here, this just connects to the pigtail hanging off of your strip, right? They just plug in together, they snap in place, and you don't have to worry about that. These wires right here are the ones you need to splice into your existing car harness. All right, so we're gonna go over the colors. So the white cord is power, needs to have constant power. Red cord, power cord, needs to have constant power. Black is your ground. And this amber / orange cord is to your turn signal indicator. So it only gets power when you're signaling a turn. When the turn signal is not activated, it's going to get no power. So then that's how the strip will know to shine white, because it's not getting no power on this cord. Once this cord, which is spliced into your turn signal indicator, starts to receive 12 volts from the battery, the strip will turn from white to amber, and in sequence. Then when that signal stops and this cord no longer receives the 12 volts, it'll go back to just shining white. Now the way I chose to route all this into the car, for me the simplest way to do it was to splice into my existing turn signal corner light harness. So this plug right here is what connects to your corner light on the 300ZX. So I already know for a fact that this has a ground, this has a constant power, and then it also has intermittent power / turn signal wire. So that's where I'm going to be splicing these into there. The first thing you need to do is kind of take apart this harness covering. This covering on the harness right here, it's from the factory. It's kind of like electrical tape with insulated rubber sealant on it, and you need to pry this apart so you can actually get to the wiring. So we're going to do that now. Now that I've peeled off this OEM kind of factory black electrical tape, I don't know what they call that, I took it off. Now you have like this rubber molding on the harness. You just peel it back and it comes right off. Now don't throw this out, because we're going to reuse it once we're all done. Just the extra step of just an extra step, just to keep the cable secure and protect it against the elements. Now you have 3 cables visible here, and I'll tell you what each cable indicates. Alright, so I got it written down on my phone indicating which wire is what. So of the 3 wires here, I wrote it down. This black wire right here is the ground. The green wire with the red striping on it, it's going to be hard to see it on camera, but when you have this harness kind of taken apart, you'll see it. It's the green wire and has a red strip running along down the side. That's the constant power. And then your green wire with the black strip is your turn signal power wire. Now I checked all these wires using my multimeter just to see which was which, and this is how I got it figured out. Wrote it down just for ease of the video. What you're going to do now is use wire strippers to strip away the insulation and reveal the actual wire, and that's what we're going to splice into. Now your method of splicing might differ from mine. It's all about what you want to do. You could use T-taps, you could solder them on, soldering being the most permanent, most safe way of doing this, or you could just splice them together and electrical tape it. For this video, for all intensive purposes, just so this video is not super long, I'm just going to splice them together and just kind of have them free floating so I can get the video done and show you guys how to do it. Now on your end, you might want to take the time to solder them, or use clamps of some sort that you research on, that you feel more comfortable using. But for this video right now, I'm just going to be twist splicing them together and then just covering them with electrical tape. Now these wires are 20 to 22 gauge in thickness, so I'm going to be using my wire stripper on that gauge so I don't cut through the wire itself and just cut the insulation off. Alright, so I spliced the black of the driver to the black of the harness. Now, the white cable and your red cable from the driver are going to go to your green cable with the red stripe. Got that done. Lastly, your amber cable is going to attach to your car harness's green cable with the black stripe. There you go for the wiring. Now we're going to clean up this wiring. I'm going to be using electrical tape, and then after electrical taping it, I'm going to route everything back through this rubber insulation from the factory harness and then electrical taping around that as well. How it's going to look after you finish wiring it up. So I have my corner turn signal harness right here. This is kind of where your corner light on your bumper plugs into. I spliced in my driver, as you guys saw. Have my actual driver, and then we're going to plug this pigtail into the pigtail of the light. It snaps into place and you're good to go. Now for the actual driver itself, you need to find somewhere for this to live. It has these little kind of like protrusions on the side where a bolt could fit through, and you could bolt it somewhere to your car. I'll let you decide on where you want to kind of tuck this away or mount it. In this video, I'm just going to zip tie it to the frame for now because I don't have any bolts freely available. If you have bolts or you find somewhere else to mount this, I'd go ahead and do that instead. This is just temporary because I'm still messing with the car. Alright, now you have your entire harness plugged in. Got the headlight wire coming out through the pigtail. Got it plugged into the driver. Got the driver spliced into my turn signal harness. My turn signal harness still has enough slack to reach my turn signal corner light once my bumper is back on, and this is nice and secure. Other side's already done. Your headlight is mounted and bolted back in. All you have left to do is put your low beam and high beam bulbs back on, and you are good to go. There you have it, guys. You guys saw the custom headlights installed, showed you guys how to wire it up, and I think it looks fantastic. What I'm gonna do now is put my bumper back on with my fenders and everything, kind of let the daylight go down some so you can see how they look at night. Alright guys, we're all done with the video. Got everything up and installed. I showed you guys how it looks at night and during the day. I think it looks fantastic. I'm sure some of you guys will agree with me. I feel like this is a pretty inexpensive, cool little mod you could do to the car, and it kind of modernizes the 300ZX headlights. That's all I got for you today. I hope you liked this video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up, share. And let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you. I always get back to all the people that have something to say, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.